We are actually inside 48 hours until the polls open. If I do quick math, it's about 43 and a half. Our OTR political analysts have a lot to say as we approach Election Day. Let's turn our attention to the governor's race. Governor Baker and his Democratic challenger, Jay Gonzalez, had their final debate here at WCVB this week. And once again, the Democrat Gonzalez went after Charlie Baker for endorsing conservative Republicans on the GOP ticket, including for Attorney General. Listen.
Why do you think Jay McMahon will be a better Attorney General than Maura Healey?
I've worked closely with the Attorney General on all kinds of issues, and we've had a good working relationship.
So you believe he would be a better Attorney General than her?
I said I was going to support the ticket.
So this is important because the governor is saying his loyalties to the Republican Party, regardless of the consequences.
I'll put my track record on these issues up against anybody.
The her, of course, is Maura Healey. The governor accused Gonzalez of proposing billions of dollars in new programs without a plan to pay for them, something the Democrat denied. Marianne, who won and why?
You know, it was the best debate of all the governor's debates, and it was the best debate both for Baker and Gonzalez. I mean, Gonzalez, as you saw in that clip, went after him all night long, and give him credit for that. Baker, on the other hand, also responded in kind and pointed to his record and his bipartisanship. The fact is, Jay Gonzalez is multiple double digits behind in this race. It may end up being a little closer at the end because of the high turnout, but you have to say Baker's the winner because with less than 2 days left, he's got the lead. So Baker wins on that one.
Who won and why?
There is such a stature gap between these two, and I don't mean physically in terms of who's taller. We've been through that in the last debate.
Gonzalez even joked about that. He said, I'm for the little guy.
Right, and that's literally, he's right. The problem here is that Jay Gonzalez has never had a good place to go after Charlie Baker. I mean, trying to make him too much of a Republican or trying to caricature him, it just doesn't work. Baker is too well known, too popular, people like him, and he defies political sort of geometry. I think the other thing is this. Charlie Baker looks and acts like a governor. He talks about the things he's passionate about and points to what he's done. Jay Gonzalez has come up with some lame brain ideas, even criticized by Democrats.
But he's had some good criticisms of Baker that the Globe used in their endorsement of Baker. So to be fair here, but Jay just never got his footing in this race.
But it was a conditional endorsement from the Globe. Pretty good for Charlie Baker, I would say.
Let's stick with this debate. Here's a memorable moment when they were asked to describe President Donald Trump in 3 words.
Hateful, racist, un-American.
Governor Baker, 3 words.
Only 3. Outrageous, disgraceful, and a divider.
Your reaction, Patrick?
That, again, fundamentally the problem. They agree on the one thing that will be the deciding issue largely in this race, Donald Trump. Neither one of them like him much. The governor's never made any kind of mask of the fact that he does not like the president, doesn't agree with him. It's a hard thing for Jay Gonzalez not to try and make Charlie Baker Donald Trump, and he's failed miserably at it.
Took the governor a little bit longer to come up with his 3 words, Marianne.
It did, and he obviously joked at the beginning only 3, right? As he was collecting his thoughts there. But the one thing everybody in Massachusetts agrees upon is nobody likes Donald Trump. So it was a political football in the beginning of this race. Jay Gonzalez tried to use it against Charlie Baker. It never quite stuck.
Next item, Columbia Gas. The parent company is now the target of a criminal investigation by the U.S. Attorney. Marianne, can you predict the ultimate political fallout from this horrendous disaster?
I think there are 2 points here. One is, in the end, this is all about Columbia Gas, and they should be held accountable, and they will. And the other side of this, I think at the end of the investigation, it'll become pretty clear that the Department of Public Utilities did not do its job on oversight, and that is shameful.
Truthfully, it's a personal football, Patrick, really. I mean, you know.
Well, it is. You know, and I had a client many, many years, BP. Remember that little oil spill in the Gulf?
Yeah.
One of the first things BP did was to step up and say, we made a mistake and we're going to try and work to make it right. You want to turn the page on these things? They've done a terrible job addressing it, a terrible job up to this point, and now it looks like this is going to go on for a long, long time. Shame on that.
Question 1. Big unknown on Tuesday. It's probably the only biggest unknown that we have. It mandates patient and nurse ratios, and millions have been spent to persuade voters. What's your guess on what's going to happen, Patrick?
It's going to be defeated. The no people are going to win. The bottom line is when you say to people it's going to cost $1 billion and community hospitals have to cut programs to assure staffing levels, most people say that's a bad idea.
Marianne, what do you think?
My final disclaimer for this campaign season, my colleagues run no on 1, and they're going to win this ballot question. They've run a great campaign.
I want to talk about the World Series because OTR had an awful lot to do with the World Series because the Red Sox won the World Series after we did our last OTR, which was live, and we're live again.
So we're responsible.
So we were responsible for it. But the question is, Marianne, will the Red Sox go to the White House?
They might, but they shouldn't, because they're the antithesis of Donald Trump. They're multicultural, they're fun. They Mookie Betts fed the homeless outside the BPL after they won the game. Alex Cora did more for Puerto Rico than Donald Trump did by flying a plane full of goods down there. They're not like Donald Trump, but they might end up there.
Patrick, should they go to the White House?
Who cares, Eddie? Who cares? I don't care.
Well, the Golden State Warriors didn't go, and the Philadelphia Eagles didn't go, so there's
so
a
I think
habit
we
of
have
not going.
a trend of political
There's a
correctness
trend
here.
of not going.
They should do what they want.
Yeah.
The bottom line is they won.
They won.
Best week, Marianne.
Voters, over 40 million people have voted already in the 2018 election in this country, and 28 states will exceed their early voting totals, and 3 of them, Arizona, Nevada, and Texas, will do more than they did in all of 2014.
Best week, Pat.
The Yes on 3 folks for producing the best ad I've
Are
seen
you talking
politically.
about this one? This one
I'm
here.
talking
Great
about
ad.
the best ad ever. This guy could give Damon and Affleck lessons on a Massachusetts accent.
He was great.
Guys,
Just
thank you for
terrific.
joining us. Do please vote. Patriots play tonight, by the way, but vote on Tuesday.